Howdy everyone. So the other day I was having a conversation with someone who was trying to explain to me what they do for a living. The problem was that they were using a lot of insider language to describe their job. And by insider language, I mean words or phrases that people who do that job know, but everyone else is kind of clueless about. And that got me thinking about how bad the church is at using insider language. But before we get too far, hit the music. Stop talking gibberish or just stop talking. Stop talking gibberish or just stop talking. So yeah, like I was saying, every job or every culture seems to come with its own language. And you and I are members of several different cultures. Now when I say culture, I don't mean necessarily ethnicity or which country you come from, although those certainly do play roles. But I'm talking about the different jobs, groups, or hobbies that you and I have. Like, for example, I'm in the Army, I do CrossFit, and I enjoy role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons. Nerd! And each one of those is its own culture with its own language. For example, gee, I wish I was back in the Army. PT's at 06 with personal hygiene from 0730 to 0830. First formation's at 09. This morning at BA, we're going to be taking some time to make sure that everybody's DTS is caught up from AT. Or the WOD today is for time. The rep scheme is 21-15-9 with burpees and overhead squats at 95 and 65 pounds. Remember that Thursday we're doing Fran as a benchmark. Or here at MIT, got skills, I'm a champion at D&D. I'm a 10th level cleric who cross-classed into fighter to get my base attack up. Not that it matters because I always seem to roll nat ones at the worst possible time. Now for those of you in each one of those cultures, you probably understood what I was saying. But to everybody else, it probably sounded like gibberish or worse. And for most every culture, it's okay to have your own insider language that not everybody gets. But the church is one place that really shouldn't have secret codes and handshakes. But we really do. I mean, if you want proof, just listen to the way we talk. Like if you typically go to a church, think through your normal responses here. The Lord be with you. This is the word of God for the people of God. And if I advertise a confirmation class, how many of you churchgoers know exactly what I'm talking about? Now, how many non-churchgoers know what I'm talking about? And just think through the language we use to describe our relationship with God. We were washed by His blood and born again.
Oh, that's not right.
Christ's death atoned for us and justified us, sanctified by the power of the Spirit within us. And those are just the code words. Think about the little handshakes that we have. Like, does your church light candles before the service starts? And do you know why they do that? Does your church have you stand for the reading of the gospel lesson but no other parts of the Bible? Do you know why they do that? Do you know the difference between a baptism and a dedication? Do you see what I mean? And here's the problem with all of that. The church is meant to be one culture where non-members are supposed to be welcomed. But so often the church is oblivious to how uncomfortable and awkward we make non-members feel. The reality is we should be more intentional about teaching people why we do what we do. Maybe that means having some specific information on your website or in your bulletin to kind of help first-time visitors figure out what's going on. Or maybe it means you pair up first-time visitors with long-time members so that they can explain why they do what they do and when they do it. Or maybe it means that if you get up during the service, you explain why you're doing what you're doing. Or maybe you ask whether or not it's actually worth doing these traditions during the worship service if it's going to keep people away from connecting with Christ. You see, I love traditions that churches have, but I really only like them if I know why we're doing them. And no, because we've always done it that way is not a valid reason. Traditions and liturgy and theological language are all meant to teach people how to draw closer to God. They're not meant to be secret handshakes and code words that are only for the initiated. And it's not that I think that the church has done this intentionally. I think we just lost track of it. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you disagree with me. In any case, I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. If you've liked what I've said, go ahead and hit the subscribe banner down below. If you have any ideas for topics or video clips that you'd like to see in upcoming videos, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. And remember, I love you and there is nothing